Bettina Love. If you have not read her books, they're so powerful. She's an educator, and she talks about, to somebody's point about she doesn't believe in reforming the system. She believes the system is null and void. You have to tear it all down. But anyway, she talks about co-conspirators. And so one of the examples she gives is when Bree Newsom, I don't know if you all remember, when Bree Newsom climbed the pole in South Carolina to take the Confederate flag down, there was a white man who held the pole at the bottom so that the police would not attack Bree, so that if anything happened, he would literally be there because he knew in his power and privilege that they would not physically harm him. So he put himself in the way. And so that's the example that she uses of co-conspirators. So even to move beyond allyship, right? What does it look like to metaphorically hold that pole for somebody? Particularly when you know your power and privilege protects you in a way that the others may not have that power and privilege.
And one more thing we like to add when we talk about action, we're all about action. We can learn and we can take and we can become aware, but what are we going to do with all of that, right? And what I tell my students is, when you leave my class, I do not expect you to lead a protest. I do not. I mean, if you do, great, invite me. I'll see it on social media. But what you can do is you can change your sphere of influence. You can change the people you live with. You can stop people from saying very ugly words about people. You can stop saying those ugly things yourself. You can challenge some of your thoughts, some of those things that you've learned. So everybody here can do something after this conversation. So it's great to be aware. It's great to learn. But what are you going to do with it? You may not need to change the world, but read an article, watch a video, go look up some of the things that we've written. We even have some podcasts on this same very subject matter, and listen to it with your spouse tonight. Think about your sphere of influence that you can absolutely change.
Mm-hmm. And that requires some agency, right? That requires some self-motivation. And one of the conversations that's come up over the past year about racial trauma is that, we are, I don't want to say experts, but, this is the work that we do. But this is also the we live this stuff, right? So we have to experience these things. And so we come both with the kind of book knowledge, but we come with some life experiences. So that means this work gets hard. And so part of people who identify as white, part of your responsibility is to take ownership over some of this work. Google, right? If you have questions about things, there are scholars, there are Black scholars, there are scholars of color who have written extensively on these topics. Purchase those books. Check out those articles, check out some of those podcasts, really taking some agency. One of the things that I love that happened for Dr. Crum and I is last summer when things were probably the height of the social unrest, our white colleague took it upon herself to say, I'm going to initiate writing our statement. She did the research, she compiled the resources. She was like, because I don't want to make y'all do this right now. No, it wasn't in a place of like, I'm taking over. It was a place of, hey, I can get this thing started. If you all want to add some stuff to it, great. But she took ownership of that. And that meant a lot, right? Also, if you think about when you ask racial or diversity experts to come in to compensate them for their work, it takes years of learning, and it takes research, and it takes work. This is laborious in a lot of ways. And so really being mindful to compensate those people who come into your spaces to lend themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.